Hi, it's Katrina! From a strange egg covered in inscriptions to objects from lost people, here are 10 mysterious objects that have baffled archaeologists. Number 10. The mysterious stone egg of Lake Winnipesaukee. In 1872, a local businessman had hired some construction workers to build a fence near the shore of Lake Winnipesaukee in New England. As they dug a hole to place one of the posts, they found an unusual lump of clay. When they pulled it apart, they revealed a very strange object, now known as the stone egg of Lake Winnipesaukee. The egg is about 4 inches long, 2.5 inches thick, and weighs about 18 ounces. It's dark in color and is made from a type of quartzite, a substance derived from sandstone, and it's as hard as granite. There are holes at each end of the egg, which were made with different tools, and the surface has been polished. Beyond the strange structure of the egg, there are a number of inscriptions on its surface. Some show astrological depictions, while another is of a human face, inverted arrows, and an ear of corn. Needless to say, historians have no idea what this object is, although of course there are a number of theories. One suggestion is that it commemorates a treaty between two tribes of the area, while others think it's an ancient tool. Perhaps the most creative explanation is that it's a thunderstone, something that's mentioned from cultures around the world and is a worked piece of stone that has fallen from the sky. They are said to be linked to thunder gods and are said to be found in the ground, often inside lumps of clay. What do you think it is? Let me know in the comments below. Whatever this object is, it is a unique relic from another time, and one that perhaps one day will reveal its true origin. Number 9. A vase in a rock. In 1851, the Scientific American published an article about an unusual object that had been found within 15 feet of a solid sedimentary rock. Now known as the Dorchester pot, it was an ornate vase made from silver-zinc, with a silver decoration in the shape of a vine. The bell-shaped vessel was 4.5 inches high, 6.5 inches across at the base, and 2.5 inches across at the top. What made this particularly unusual was that it was supposedly found within such deep rock, which could suggest the object is many millions of years old. Modern archaeologists think they know exactly what it is. Rather than being an object created by a long-lost civilization, it appears to be a Victorian-style candlestick or vase. This doesn't explain, though, how it became lodged in the place where it was found, and has led some to theorize that it was created by metalworkers in North America more than 600 million years ago. This seems like a far less likely explanation, but whatever its origins, there's definitely something unique and special about the Dorchester pot. Number 8. The Maine penny. While Columbus is often credited as being the first non-American to discover the continent, there's increasing evidence to suggest that other people made the treacherous voyage long before him. Perhaps the Basque or the Chinese, and of course, the Vikings. Viking settlements have been found in Newfoundland, Canada, but the only Norse artifact to have been found that can be accurately dated is known as the Maine penny. In 1957, an amateur archaeologist was investigating the Goddard archaeological site, which was full of the remains of a Native American settlement. Within the many artifacts and pieces found was this penny. It was placed in the archives and forgotten. It was only 20 years later when its significance was realized. It had originally been thought to be an Old English coin, but experts have now suggested that it's actually a Norse coin that was made during the reign of King Olaf III at some point between 1065 and 1080. What's strange about all this, though, is how the penny came to be where it was found. The settlement in Maine was built more than 100 years after the coin was struck, and no other Norse objects have been found there. Was it traded with the local inhabitants at some point? Or, as some believe, is the Maine penny a hoax that was planted there to cause confusion? We may never know the truth about this particular coin, but there's definitely more to the history of America waiting to be discovered, and perhaps one day we'll know the extent to which the Vikings and other communities worked their way across the continent. And now for number 7. But first, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to join the Origins Explained family. Number 7. 9.7 million-year-old teeth. In 2017, paleontologists in Germany discovered an object that could fundamentally change our knowledge about our species. As they were sifting through sand in the Rhine River near the town of Eppelheim, they found a set of fossilized teeth. When they first saw them, they knew they had found something significant, but it was only after the teeth were dated that it became clear just how important they were, with tests determining that they were about 9.7 million years old. They are similar in appearance to the teeth of Lucy, which were part of a 3.2 million-year-old skeleton that has been found in Ethiopia from a long-extinct primate. She was one of the missing links in our ancestry. They aren't, however, like anything else found in Europe or Asia, so it raises the question of whether a human-like species was present in the area far earlier than had been previously thought. This could completely rewrite our understanding of how our ancestors migrated across the world and potentially uncover previously unknown species. Number 6. The Salzburg Cube. There have long been legends of advanced civilizations that once lived on Earth, and occasionally artifacts are found that could well prove some of the mysterious stories, such as those about Atlantis. One of these finds is known as the Salzburg Cube, and scientists have no idea how it came into being. It was found in 1885 by an iron smelter in Austria within a block of coal that dated back to between 65.5 million to 2.6 million years ago. That's a big range, I know. The metal cube-like object, also known as the wolf's egg iron, is 2.64 by 2.64 by 1.85 inches and weighs 1.73 pounds. Tests showed it to be made of a steel and nickel alloy and looked like it was made by a machine because of its straight edges. Who created it, what it was for, and how it came to be encased within a lump of coal still remains a mystery. And sadly now the whereabouts of the object is unknown, so further tests are impossible. Whoever has it is keeping it a secret. Number 5. Cremated bones. In 2017, a ceramic box was unearthed in Jiangxuan Province, China, which claimed to contain the remains of the Buddha. According to an inscription on the box, local monks had collected the cremated remains along with the Buddha's teeth and bones and buried them in their temple in the year 1013. Also at the site, there were more than 260 ornate Buddhist statues. The inscription goes on to say that they spent more than 20 years collecting all of the items together, and they did so in order to promote Buddhism. There is still some debate as to whether these really are the remains of the Buddha, who died around 2,500 years ago. It's also not clear if the statues were buried at the same time as the box, and what the true purpose of this collection of artifacts was. There have been a number of discoveries across China which claim to be the true remains of the Buddha, so while it's possible that the contents of the box are what they are claimed to be, it's more than likely that it's all a hoax. Number 4. The Antikythera arm. One of the greatest sources of ancient artifacts ever found was from a shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera. Since its discovery in the 1900s, divers have brought up countless objects such as the famed Antikythera mechanism, but every year even more impressive things are found. In 2017, a bronze arm was recovered, and it's thought to be the first of up to 7 classical world statues that are still down there. Divers found the encrusted and green-stained arm under 1.6 feet of sediment by using a custom-built underwater metal detector. Despite the treasure trove of artifacts that have been found on the site, researchers are still unsure what happened to the ship that caused it to sink, or why it was carrying such an expensive cargo. Bronze statues were often melted and recast, so it's possible these statues are of significant importance. As of yet, with only the right arm having been retrieved, it's not clear who this statue was supposed to represent, but it will most likely be significant to the art world and the archaeological community. Number 3. The genetic disc. The genetic disc is a mysterious artifact that was found in Colombia at some time during the 20th century. Its origins are unknown though, because it was already in the possession of a local citizen when it was later given to Professor Jaime Gutierrez, a collector of unique objects. It's very peculiar and nothing like anything ever found made by pre-Columbian people. The first strange thing about the disc, which is about 6,000 years old, is the content of the inscriptions. They show the different stages of fetal development, something that is only observable today by using specialist scanning techniques. How could a civilization from so long ago have gained such specific knowledge without the assistance of modern equipment? The other strange thing about the 10-inch stone that weighs about 4.5 pounds is the material it's made from. Known as basanite, it's very similar to granite, but the tools possessed by humans 6,000 years ago wouldn't have been capable enough of carving the stone into such a precise shape. This all points to a much more advanced civilization that anyone has previously thought lived in the area, which has led to researchers looking much harder to see if they can find any other evidence of who these people might have been. Number 2. Dighton Rock. The Dighton Rock is a massive boulder that weighs about 40 tons and was left in the Taunton River in Massachusetts by a glacier during the end of the last ice age. It's 5 feet high, 9.5 feet wide, 11 feet long, and made of crystalline sandstone. Now, in itself, this is nothing unusual, unless you're a super geological fan. But the thing that's brought attention to this rock in particular are the carvings that have been etched onto one of its sides. The first record of these petroglyphs being seen was back in 1680 when Reverend John Danforth visited. He decided that they must be from an indigenous tribe, but to this day, it's still not clear who was responsible for these symbols, or even what they mean. Some think it was made by the Phoenicians, the Asians, the Vikings, or even the Portuguese, but until the symbols can be deciphered, it's likely we'll never really know the truth. The rock has now been removed from the river and placed on display at a nearby museum. If you're ever in Massachusetts, then why not visit it for yourself and see if you can help shed some light on this 400-year-old mystery. Number 1. The dodecahedrons. The Romans were known for their engineering, military, and social advances, but there are objects that have been found across the former empire that continue to baffle archaeologists. The Roman dodecahedrons. The first was found in an English field more than 300 years ago, and since then, at least 100 of them have been found in dig sites, ranging from the size of a golf ball to a bit larger than a baseball. Each one of these objects has 12 sides. They're hollow and are made from a mixed metal thought to be ancient brass. There are holes in each side, all of which are a different size, and they can be seen in museums across Europe. Despite their prevalence and presumably being quite a common tool for the Romans, no one has any clue what they were for. There are no written records about the objects, and a significant amount of effort would have had to go into creating each one. As you would expect, there are a number of suggestions as to what they could have been used for, ranging from candle holders, weapons and ornaments, to rangefinders, props for magic spells, or children's toys. We know so much about the Roman Empire, the way they lived and what they did, from vast libraries of texts and archaeological remains, but the dodecahedrons continue to bemuse researchers and might well be unanswered for many years to come. What do you think they are? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye!